Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Aaron. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. And if you are a current subscriber returning to watch my videos, I really do appreciate it. Alright, so the other night I went to the theater and I went to see The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I am currently either editing a review for it or the review is up on my channel, so if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. When I got ready to leave, it was pouring rain. I had a 45-minute drive back in the dark in the rain, and I thought, you know what, I'm already out here. It's discount movie night because it was a Tuesday. Let's see what else is playing that I'd be interested in seeing. And they were playing Talk to Me. I wasn't impressed by the trailer when I saw it. I thought it looked really stupid, but I heard good things about it and that it was a great horror film and a little different and unique, and that it was made by unprofessionals in the movie industry because these people were actually YouTubers. So I was like, I'll check it out. So I watched it, and these are my thoughts. I was really surprised by this movie. I thought I was gonna hate it. I thought it looked stupid. The first trailer I saw, I was like, I don't have any interest in ever watching this movie. So the fact that I went to the theater to see this and was skeptical, but ended up really enjoying it, was kind of a shock to me. Shock to me, talk to me. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. That's so stupid. Can't get this to stay up. That's what she said. Or he said, right? Damn it. No? Okay. Whatever. Anyhowser. The story was unique. I liked that they never fully, well, they don't really explain at all how this thing works to communicate with the dead when you grab the hand. Someone says it's the hand of a psychic that was cut off and encased in plaster or ceramic or something, and someone said it was the hand of a Satanist. So, like, we don't know, and it's never explained how it works. We just know that it does. It's kind of realistic as to when people do it, they freak out at first, but then because they're with other people and under peer pressure, and the experience they just had was so different and unique, that they do it again. And then they do it again, and then they watch other people do it, and they think it's fun and interesting, and they have a fun time, and they're all laughing and drinking and playing this game and holding the hand and talking to spirits. I like the fact that they got addicted to it. It's weird, but when you step back and really think about it, it probably is what would happen. You'd have a few people who would not do it, or they'd do it once and be like, what the hell just happened? I'm never doing that again. But I think the majority of people would do it again because it's totally something new and unique. And as it's explained later in the movie, she felt like euphoric and it was unlike any experience she'd ever had.
I'll have what she's having.
So I was like, okay, no wonder it's so addictive. It's not just because it's different than stuff we're used to in like reality, but it's also because it feels really, really good. Yes, it is a metaphor for drug addiction, or any type of addiction can end up really destroying your life and affecting other people's lives as well. But throwing the metaphor aside and just watching the movie for the scares and everything and an interesting story, I thought it did both really, really well. A lot of people said that this movie isn't graphic in its depiction of horror, and I would sort of agree. It depends on your definition of graphic. There are certain scenes that are very gruesome and are kind of graphic, but it's kept to a very small bit. So when it happens, it's so shocking. They kept it edited just the right amount of time that it never felt like it was gratuitous and they were just doing it to be like, oh, look how bloody we made this movie and gross. Like, it never felt like that. Every scene that involved any graphic content, like blood or gore or a bone or something, it felt like completely needed for the story. I like when movies use content that a lot of people shy away from, and the film uses it as part of the plot so that it makes sense to what is going on instead of just throwing it in there to make people uncomfortable. The acting was really good too, which was kind of surprising to me. From the trailers, I thought the acting looked kind of terrible. In the movie itself, I thought it worked fine. Growing up homeschooled, not around other people, and not involved in a big social life. I really had no social life, more or less, outside of church, which was like 15 minutes every other Sunday, talking with people. So seeing a bunch of teenagers hanging out and drinking and smoking pot and sitting around with a bunch of music blaring and stuff, having fun but also being really mean to each other, like it's very foreign to me. I don't really understand it, but once I was kind of able to get into that aspect of understanding teenagers a bit, and this is the kind of stuff they do, then I became a lot more like not comfortable exactly, but like I was able to kind of accept the story more, I guess. I'm not sure if I'll keep that segment in here or not. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll see in the editing or whatever. The jump scares are great. The scenes involving the spirits are very interesting because you can't tell if these spirits are all nefarious or if some of them are actually like victims and in pain and trying to get help, or if they're nefarious but pretending to be victims. So they're messing with your mind. I just thought that's a great way to show ghosts and spirits. That always keeps you guessing as an audience member, where you're like, okay, is this trying to hurt our main character or is it genuinely trying to get help? And I thought that worked so well in this movie. Also, this movie is very like, what's the word? It's very much set in someone's mind. So there's a lot of moments where the character is wondering like, is she going insane? And you're sitting there as an audience member going, is she actually like crazy? Is she actually freaking out? Or is she really seeing these spirits? Are they real? Are they just hallucinations? Like, what exactly is going on? And they play it up really well. And I thought they did it so well in the film that it set up the ending fantastically. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it set up the ending so that you don't fully know what's going on until the character starts to know what's going on. And I liked that. I think personally I caught on to what was happening a little earlier than most people did, and obviously before the character knew what was going on. But nonetheless, it still made it a great ending, and I thought it was awesome. There's one moment in this film that is really creepy and scary, and it involves kind of like this mental torture of a child and a bunch of people. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's very brief. It is like probably 3 or 4 seconds long. It's terrifying. I was like, oh man, that's awful. And I'm wondering if when this movie gets a Blu-ray release, if they'll have an uncut version of this movie with more scenes like that, or at least extended. Because as scary and creepy as it was and disturbing, at the same time it was also incredibly interesting because I kind of wanted to see more of like that world where those things were happening to the kid. It's kind of like in the Insidious film, you know, when they go off into like the dreamland kind of. It's kind of like something like that. Like it's very interesting and I want to know more about it, even though it's terrifying. Anyhow, I was very pleasantly surprised with this film. I would probably put this on my top horror films as well because yes, it did make my hair stand on end and give me goosebumps in a few scenes, especially the scene I just talked about. For enjoyment when watching the film, I would probably give this an 8 or a 9. For rewatchability, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7 just because I want to see it again so I can pick up on more things that are hinting at things that are going to happen later on in the movie. And I also like the uniqueness of it that I would definitely watch it again. For a film as a whole, including, you know, set design and production, directing and acting and all that, I thought it was great. I would probably give it a 9. One of the things that I found very interesting is that the sound design from the very beginning, every sound effect is over exaggerated with the volume. It's just really loud. So when there's a scene that involves a dramatic sound effect like a bone breaking or a knife or something, it's just incredibly crisp and loud. At the very beginning, I was like, okay, is this movie going to be like this and is it going to work the whole time? And it did. And like I said, I thought that was amazing. It makes it feel so much more visceral, and I loved that. Also, Miranda Otto is in this movie, and I have like the biggest crush on her. So to see her in this movie, yes, she is way older than me now. She's probably old enough to be my mother, but I think she's gorgeous and graceful and just amazing. So to see her in this movie was a pleasant surprise. And her character was funny and interesting. Anyhow, if you saw this movie, what did you think of it? Do you have a favorite horror film? If so, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Also, if you like this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. Alright, thanks for watching. My name is Aaron, and I hope you come back and see me in another video. Goodbye.